Okay, the stream is back. We are up and we are ready to have Asgard and King play. So, okay, we are ready in all caps because I need to yell it loud. Okay, we are ready.
uh, King is also a diamond player. He's ranked 11th in his league, so we should be able to see a pretty intense game between these two players. It's really nice seeing new players in the tournament because we're always trying to make our games from ZvP.com as big as possible.
Absolutely, it's awesome to see familiar names. Like I said, Asgard was on yesterday's daily. I've seen Yodels, who's been pretty consistently on our games. Mr. Seasoner, I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Seasoner because he's been consistently making it pretty far in these tournaments. It's good to see him.
Speece is back. I've seen Speece.
Speece is also another common player we've seen before. Awesome to see him back.
Alright, we have our Yozerg in the top left as Asgard, and we have King down in the bottom right as our blue, almost said Terran, but he's actually our Protoss player. And we're playing on Jungle Basin. And go ahead and talk about this map. This map's kind of interesting playing.
Now this map is very interesting because it's not a fan favorite. It's got some very interesting characteristics to it. So the first I'm going to explain is the natural expansion because it is very interesting. It's very easy to secure as you have to go around to attack it. You have to go through your, at least in early game, you have to go through this front ramp to get to it. In late game to mid game, you see these destructible rocks will go down, but the path to get to it is extremely long and out of the way, and that actually leads to a third expansion, which is honestly the most common third expansion, as it is, like I said, through this little alleyway. There's a middle expansion here that is really hard to secure, as it's in the middle. It's right up front to your enemy's third or fourth expansion, depending on how you want to look at it. There are two Zelnog towers to both sides, really close. Don't quite see to this expansion, but you do see a lot of the map. Good to keep that vision going on for these Zelnog towers.
Yeah, and one thing to note on this map, if you're going to get the Protoss, if you look at the expansion backdoor rocks, if you put a pylon right over the little gap, you're able to warp in through the backdoor without actually destroying these rocks. So fast expand for a Zerg is quite dangerous if your opponent uses that.
Absolutely, I'm actually highlighting that spot on my screen right now so everybody can see. If you put a pylon right there, like Darkmarine said, you can warp these units right here, pew, 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 and then send them into this expansion. Awesome for, ninja proxy, cool, awesome DT action or something. I actually haven't tried it, but I would love to, because I think it sounds awesome. But I've been too busy casting these awesome tournaments to actually play much, but I'm perfectly okay with that. We see a proxy going down, well, not really a proxy, but an expansion blocking pylon going down for King, so Asgard is not able to expand quite as early.
Yeah, and if your opponent does throw down a pylon and just don't panic, just keep on going with your build order, and it's not that big a deal if your hatchery goes down a little bit later than you like. But all you need is like 2 Zerglings in your drone, and you can definitely clean that up, and you can get going with your expansion.
Which, as we see Asgard is doing, he's got 2 drones queued up to that pylon, so they'll go over there and kill it. The very basic Zerg build we see going on here. We saw the extractor before the pool. The pool is done, so I would assume I would really expect to see a Roach Warren, or maybe he will get this expansion. I'm not sure which order he'll get it in. We do see a Stalker coming out for King, which he got after getting a walled-off Zealot. Very good play. It's got on a hold, which is perfect, so the Lings can't run in here and be awesome and kill probes. It's getting that second gas pretty early. Could see lots of sentry play, maybe early Colossus play. Oh, and there is the one gateway to robotics facility. So early Immortal play, early Scout. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that, but I assure you it will be awesome cakes.
So Asgard is going to walk the ramp to check out the front door. He knows that his opponent has to start out. He did see the Chrono Boost on the cybernetics course, so he knows he's researching the Warp Gate's technology. And we do see the robotics faculty going down and another gateway, so we are seeing a very fast tech.
Asgard getting his second hatchery almost finished over here. We do see, yeah, like he said, chrono boosting the cybernetics core, which kind of gives away to Asgard, our Zerg player, that he's not going to have a whole lot of units out, as he's kind of, when you see the Protoss chrono boost that cybernetics core, they tend to not make units and wait for that gate, that warp gate to be complete. I do that a lot. Kind of a good Protoss players don't do it much, but I'm not good at this game, so I run out of units very early because I'm always trying to rush that warp gate so I can like click on units and they appear instantly, which is really pretty. See drones being transferred to Asgard's natural expansion. Already has quite a few drones. I'll go to our harvester count. He's got 32 drones over King's 35 or 25, excuse me. Do see a pylon going down at the destructible rocks for King. Very clever. We do see overlords over at Asgard's destructible rocks. So both players doing a nice job of scouting. I haven't seen King go for Zelnaga Caverns, or Zelnaga Towers, so he doesn't have a whole lot of vision, but he probably knows he's pretty secure. He does have a nice wall off and plenty of warp gate units.
Yeah, Asgard is running up and down his ramp just to take a peek and see how many units he's actually producing, which right now King's actually doing really well. He's keeping the majority of his units in the bag, so he doesn't know how many units, because if his opponent has a lot of units up at the front, he knows that he's probably going to get a 4-gate push or a 3-gate robo, which that's what our opponent's doing. So he's actually hiding his tech build pretty well.
And we do see King getting that observer, excuse me, really early with that. Oops, wrong button. With that robotics facility. That very interesting that he rushed the robotics facility just for one observer, and it doesn't look like he's making anything else with it. I'm not sure that I like that. I would rather see a 2-gate, 2 robotics, get a couple more, sell it out just before. Not a big deal. We see Asgard taking out the rocks of his own base, but that is because he's going for this second expansion. Like I said, with Zerg play, a lot more common to see this expansion here than it is up here, just because it's nice to hide it and a little safer.
Yeah, King is pushing out his base. He's roaming the map now, picking off every little Zerg lane that he can. And Asgard does see his units moving out and running around, and does catch the units going to the middle and to the right, so he knows a bunch of units are coming to his base. That's the reason why he pulled back. And we do have a nice warm-up by our opponent. Oh my gosh.
Nidus Worm going in at the natural for King. I believe he might see it if he transfers drones. It looks like he's a little busy attacking the front of Asgard. He does have that observer, knows that there aren't that many units, but he's going to keep all these lings in here, going to kill all these probes. Oh, they're not even mining. That makes baby pandas cry when probes aren't mining.
King is running all of his units back to his base because he sees a lot of lings just running through.
Really don't like that play, to be honest. I think he could have just warped in a couple of zealots and attacked with probes, held that off. He has so many gateway units up front that already were at Asgard's base. Could have really pushed that and taken out just as many probes, if not all of them, in one. I'm not sure that I like this pulling all the way back. It just took so long and he lost. Let's go to the harvester count. It's down to 28 now, which is enough for one base, let alone he's got this entire expansion just sitting here doing nothing. This poor probe gonna run up and get attacked by these things. Oh, no, he did manage. He's scared. That probe's scared, but he did live. So Nidus Worm does go down. We see the expansion for the second expansion for Asgard going. Starting to get some drones going on. Like I said, Asgard just really solid expansion plays. Really good at hiding them or just defending them. He's got a couple spine colors coming up. He's getting a couple lings out front. So he's got the Immortal queued to this expansion. Now, don't think he saw it. So he doesn't know what's there, but he does see that the roaches are actually in the middle of the map. Asgard has all the map control. Really, King is just stuck down to his natural expansion on this main base of his.
Yeah, King's really afraid to move out just because he knows his opponent has the Nidus Worm possibility at any time.
You're seeing a couple lings coming around to King's Rocks. Gonna start hitting it, but there's 3 of them. Those lings are just gonna be exhausted before these rocks go down.
Yeah, the poor little closet. If they ever do bust down, they're gonna be sharp as heck from scratch at this thing.
King actually dropping an immortal on a robotics facility, but he was supply capped and chrono boosted. Totally wasting the chrono boost, but good thing that he is going for these immortals, as he did see all those roaches.
Yeah, he is pushing out again. He knows that if he sits in space too long, his opponent's just gonna out macro him.
Which is exactly what Asgard is going for. He does have that third expansion.
Doing a lot of damage to roaches. Nice force field.
Nice force field play. He's going to capture, keep a couple of these roaches back, but nice micro by Asgard. He's going to come in, hopefully focus fire that immortal. Perfect play there. And the roach count is just going to destroy. And there's the GG by King. So first game goes to Asgard. King will invite everybody because he's cool like that. He does get the choice of map because he lost that first game. We'll see.
This is a best of 3.
It is best of 3. It is round 4 of the Fridaily. So what do you think of that game, Darkmarine?
That was a pretty epic game. I'm kind of excited to see a nice warm play actually go down, because that's the first one that we tested was a nice warm. So for like you said, him pulling back instead of attacking his opponent's base, because his opponent didn't have very much at his front door, and definitely not enough to stop that push, but with that nice warm, he definitely scared his opponent enough to make him retreat all the way back to his base. And like I said, and bring a couple of Zealots to introduce the lanes, who would have been just fine.
I think he totally could have held that off. He just warped in a couple of Zealots, tanked, and had those probes, not even all of his probes, just a couple of those probes, hit enough of those lanes to do damage to where the Zealots can clean up. And yeah, he had all of his gateway units at Asgard's base. I think he really would have won the base trade. I think he could have had that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Just one of those perks of being a Protoss player that you can warp in your units anywhere you have a pylon. Asgard's army was split in half, really, because he had that Nidus and he sent the Lings back behind the King's natural expansion.
Yeah, which I think if he would have saw the amount of units at space, he would have had to retreat all of his Lings back to the Nidus form and bring him back into play, because he definitely needed those Lings to hold off that push. So we're just waiting on King for an invite.
Again, this is the Fridaily. Thank you for watching. It is the Fridaily for Zeke.com, as you can see by my pretty nifty banner slideshow going on. Again, thanks for Max to the cool, shiny emblems. Even though he's not here, I'm not sure what he's doing, but he said he would not be here tonight. And there's our invite by King. Looks like the map will be Steps of War as his choice. I'm going to start invite. I'm going to suggest my good friend Darkmarine here.
And there's my invite. Alrighty. Game number 2 is going to be Steps of War. And King says that he got the horrible game out of the way, so we should see a pretty epic game going on.
So again, I'm going to end the cast now and restart it so that we can get the epic game just in one game, really. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with a short commercial break.